Welcome! In this video, we are going to demonstrate how to access and configure the Secure Function Lock of your Brother device. Secure Function Lock is to restrict and set user access to certain device features. These are set by the administrator. Let's look at the configuration. Log on to your device's embedded web page. Once logged onto your embedded web page, select Administrator. Now select Restriction Management. Here we can see the device is currently set to off under User Restriction Function. Select Secure Function Lock. Once Secure Function Lock is selected, it will automatically disable the Settings Lock feature, as this is now set with the Secure Function Lock. Here we can see under Setting Lock Detail, General Setup is disabled. If you don't want users to access the setting from the device, you would set this to Disabled, as shown here. When set to Disabled, the device's LCD will be greyed out as shown. When you enable this feature, the setting icon will be active for the users, as shown here. You can have General Setup enabled, but disable certain features within the menu. We can see that the shortcut and the fax are disabled, but the printer has been enabled in this example. On the LCD, we can see only the printer is available to the user. Now scroll down the page. There are more options for the administrator to enable or disable. These can be set to the required preferences. Scroll down the page to see more options. This is where you would set specific tab options. If set to shared, every user will be able to see the tab. If you set to personal, only specific users will be able to see the tab. Here, tab 2 is set to personal. We will see how this is used when setting up the users later in the demonstration. Once all selections have been made, select Submit at the bottom of the page. Once the changes have been confirmed, you will see Submit OK at the top of the page. Now you will have an additional menu under Restriction Management called Secure Function Lock. Select this option. Here is where the administrator can set the rules for the user's passwords. Password can be set from 1 to 32 characters. In this example, I will leave at default 4 characters. The administrator can add a lockout setting if required. Select Enabled here. This feature is now enabled. The number of failed logouts can be set from 1 to 50, depending on requirement. Here is where to set the locked time for each failed logout. This can be set from 10 to 1800 seconds. Scroll down the page. This is where you can unlock all users if the login is locked out. If you want the users to authenticate at the device before printing, select On here. This will then store their jobs in the temporary memory known as the RAM, unless you have set to store to a USB flash drive. If you select Off, the print job will print straight away and no authentication at the device is required. Show Select Job. This will let the users see a list of print jobs they have sent to the device. They then select the job they want to print, as shown here. If you select Off, once the user has authenticated at the device, their print job will automatically print off. This is where you set the panel timeout. Select here. The administrator can set a panel timeout. This is where the administrator can set the panel to timeout after a specific time of no activity. Once set, select Submit to confirm changes. Submit OK will be at the top of the page. Once you have submitted the panel changes, select Restricted Functions. In this example, I will select 1 to 25. The 1 to 25 symbolises users. Restricted Functions is where the restrictions per user or group are set. Let's look at all these options. This column is where the groups or users are named. These are the functions available. You can enable or disable for functions for each user or group. Each group or user can have an allocated page limit. Finally, in this section, you have page counters for each group and user. The function will only be used if a page limit has been allocated. Now we have gone through the restricted functions, let's look at the public mode. Public mode can be set and used for users without a login to the device. If public mode has all the options enabled, this is what the user would see from a device. In this example, I have unselected all options from the public mode. This will force all users to log into the device. The administrator can enable the required access to the relevant features needed. In this example, if you just want print as an option for public mode, the user will see all the icons as shown here, but will only be able to select print, as all other options will not be accessible. Some groups and users have been added, with various functions and different page limits. When using a page limit, make sure you click the On option. Click On here if setting a page limit for a group or user. If this isn't selected and you have any value other than 0 in the max page box, when submitting changes it will fail, as this box needs to be selected for this feature. Scroll down to the bottom of the page. Now select Submit. Submit OK at the top of the page to confirm your changes. Now we are going to look at page counters. Scroll down to the Counter Auto Reset menu option. Select the option shown here. This is the frequency for the auto reset on the page counter. This is only needed if you are using page limits on the restriction function page. There is various options to choose from. In this example, I have chosen at 8 AM daily for the counter to auto reset. Select Submit to confirm changes. Submit OK at the top of the page to confirm your changes. Now let's look at the last counter record. Scroll down the page. Select Last Counter Reset. Here gives the administrator the totals for all users and groups. Current counter shows page count from the current pages printed, copied or scanned. Last counter shows from previous page count from the last reset. This data can be exported to a CSV file by selecting here. As a rule, this file will go into your Downloads folder. How to reset the counters. Select Restricted Functions. In this example, I will select 1 to 25, as this is where I have the example groups and users. Depending on what is required to be reset will depend on your choice here. To reset all counters, select Reset All Counters at the top of the column. This will then reset the current counter for all users. If you want to reset specific users, select the account to be reset, then select Reset Selected Counters at the top of the column. Once you have selected Reset Counters, you will see this information page. Then select Submit to confirm changes. Now you will see a confirmation message at the top of your page. Finally, we need to set up individual users. Scroll down the page. In this example, I will select users 1 to 25. This is where the administrator sets up individual users. Enter the name of the user, a password and their email address. This section is where the user preferences are set by the administrator. Select the arrow at the side of the box. This will show the drop-down options. These are the profiles that we set up under Restricted Functions 1 to 25. Select the preferred profile to assign to the user. If the administrator has made any tabs personal under Restriction Management, the user will only be able to see them tabs if selected here. Select the home screen you want the user to see when logging in. In this example, the user's name was chosen randomly. Alternatively, users can be set up with their PC login names. Add the user's PC login name, then fill in the details as before, and finally select the restrictions and home page for the user. When a user registers an NFC card, the ID will be populated in this field. How to register a card is linked in this video, which is on your screen now, and in the description of this video. Once all users have been set up, scroll to the bottom of the page, select Submit, Submit OK will be at the top of the page confirming your changes. Now all the configuration has been set up, let's take a brief look from the device. The device is currently in public mode. The page limit is 3. And all tabs are available. Here we can see the 2 users we set up earlier in this demonstration. Once logged in, their name will display here, along with their page limit if one has been set. Sending a print job to the device. Select the document. Select the correct device to send the print job to. As the administrator selected On for Show Select Job, the user will see their print jobs listed here. Select the print job to be printed, then select Print. The Printing Progress page will be shown here. Once the print job has printed, the device will return to the user's home screen. The user can either switch to the public profile or let the device time out. It will automatically change to public mode. Page limit has also reduced by 1 for this user, as the print job has printed from this device. That completes the demonstration showing the setup of Secure Function Lock. Thank you for watching.